Hey viewers, my name's Kara. I'm your host for Tuesdays here on The Pagan Perspective, and this week we are sort of revisiting a topic that we've talked about in the past, but it's been years, probably. I lose track of the time. Boy, do I lose track of the time. I don't even know what day it is anymore. I did not realize that today was Tuesday. So instead of thinking it was Monday and I was doing my video early, it's Tuesday and I'm right on schedule as usual, which is me being late. So it's probably been a few years though since we've covered this topic. We're talking about the idea of, or the fear of, or the process of going through losing friends over paganism, losing friends over them finding out about your beliefs. This question comes from ThatPerson Charlie, who says a few very nice things, and then the actual question: how do you deal with the loss of friends due to your beliefs, if you had any? I am still in the broom closet, and coming from a very Christian community, I don't know how to deal with that negativity. Lesson B. So, this I think depends on a few factors. So, on the one hand, there is whether this is something that you are currently actually experiencing, such as someone who knows you found out your beliefs, or that you were talking about your beliefs with them or whatever, and they have already expressed negativity toward you. So that's one thing. Another thing that people might be dealing with is just the fear of broaching the subject, or the fear of that subject coming up, because you expect or anticipate there to be negativity coming from that situation. So in the instance where we are just expecting it because we think that's what's going to happen, I will say that in my experience, which I know everyone's experience is different because we all know different people, we all live in different places, we all feel different ways about how to interact with people and how far to push the envelope in certain situations and with certain people. So every experience is going to be different. But in my personal experience, I am horrible about expecting people to react negatively. I have this sort of ongoing fear that people are not going to accept me, so I don't want to broach the subject. However, if I am asked about it, I never lie. But I usually just try to sidestep things because I'm afraid that people will react negatively. That is a separate thing than people actually responding negatively. And in my experience, I have had obviously many encounters with people, talking to them about my faith, people finding out about my faith when they had not known it previously, and over a decade worth of these experiences, right? And a very tiny handful of overall experiences would I consider negative. I have never lost a friend over it. I can't even really think of people who have, refused to associate with me or stopped talking to me or anything like that over it. But I am also the kind of person who, if that were to happen, instead of feeling that I lost a friend, I am the kind of person who thinks and lives my life in such a way that if people have a problem with my religion, which is so much of who I am, then that person was never really my friend, or that person is not my friend if they are not okay with something that is such a big part of me. And a real friend is someone who will use that as an opportunity to learn and will want to talk to you about it and ask you questions about it, and not just guilt trip you and not just try to make you believe something else, right? So I know this is difficult with certain relationships. So this is where we get into the portion of, if this is something you have actually already dealt with, how do you deal with that? And I would say just, if this person is your friend, then you should be able to be comfortable speaking to them about things like that. Or say, hey, you're my friend, and this is an important part of who I am. And if you can't accept that, then we need to talk about, what our friendship is and how that's going to work. Because, you may not be, as I would say, I'm not willing to be friends with someone who only interacts with me to try to get me to change my strongly held beliefs. Things like that, So if this is someone who's really your friend, that you really consider your friend, you should be able to have a real honest heart-to-heart conversation with them. And they should be able to, respect you just as they expect you to respect them. So, but again, I might not be the best person to ask, because I am very much, this is who I am, this is such an important part of who I am, that if I meet someone, I think we can be friends, but then they just flat out cannot accept who I am and my religion, that person's not my friend. That's just how I am, that's just how it is. This is who I am. If you don't like that, then you clearly don't like me, so how can we be friends, So that's how I see things. Luckily, I really haven't dealt with that a whole lot, because, as I've said, I'm mostly just afraid that the negativity is going to happen, but 9 times out of 10, 98 times out of 100 kind of thing, I have had people be accepting. I have a lot of Christian and Catholic friends who are extremely devout in their beliefs. I have several humanist and atheist friends who pretty much are, very chill, in the sense that they're like, yeah, dude, believe whatever you want to believe, as long as you're not trying to get me to believe in something that I don't. Cool, It's just mutual respect and friendship. Friendship is magic. Yeah, so that's how it is for me. That's how I see it. That's how I handle it. But yeah, I know it's different for everybody. That's how I go about things. That's my perspective. So thank you very much for watching. I will see you next week. Hopefully I'll remember what day it is next week. And until then, don't forget to be awesome, blessed be, and goodbye.